I'm Anna.
And I'm Ben.
And we are AutoSave. Welcome to our channel.
Today, Broccoli Mob. Maybe.
Today on Broccoli Mob 100.
Yeah, Broccoli Mob 100. Broccoli Mob is potentially fighting Real Mob, right?
I hope so. I mean, I
Broccoli
want to see a
Mob
big
is Dimple.
fight.
Broccoli Mob is Dimple.
I disagree.
But we
disagree on it.
Earlier in episode 3, we had Dimple say, like, all right, like offer up the idea of making an imposter of Mob.
Right, but this is just so creepy, and I could just see everyone's energy and everyone's wishes and everyone's thoughts putting power into the broccoli itself.
Yeah, Broccoli Mob is
and the roots did start spreading before really we got to see Dimple. So I'm on the fence with it being Dimple.
Gotcha. You have your own little like side theory about what's happening with
Plus,
Broccoli Mob.
there's no dimples on Broccoli Mob.
That's true. I will give you that. That's true.
Unless he's like controlling it like a remote control car.
Yeah, but it would be odd seeing Dimple in control of something without dimples. That is a good point. That's a good argument. You ready? Mm-hmm. Sweet. This truly is full circle if this is Dimple, right? I don't like it. Who is recording this? Slightly. Getting some interesting framing of Mob's face this episode. Oh, so you are mind controlling people with food from the broccoli. Oh no!
No! Don't eat it. Don't.
This is a cool shot. Could you see Broccoli Mob behind him?
Oh my gosh, thank goodness he realized it and is trying to throw it up.
Oh! Tie sword, it's back! We haven't seen it in a while. Come on, Teru. Whew.
Teru doesn't long for a place to belong.
Look at the aura. Strong emotions. Woo! Oh!
主役になんてなれないんだよ。一体何者だったんだろう。店長、なんだい。植物の様子がなんかもうしおれてる。
What a perfect job for him.
Right? This broccoli thing is his specialty. He's passionate.
Telling you to take breaks and actually take them. How dare he?
Are all the psychics going to be taken out like one by one?
いつまで再生するんだ。お前じゃ俺様を止められねえよ。なあ、花沢。君はろくでもない悪霊だったんだな。幹から受肉してサイコヘルメット着ねえからよ。目的は何だ。暴走を知っているのか。真偽は昔から一つ。神になることだ。また君を消すことになるとはな。影山君には
I don't want this to be happening.
さよならだ。
Oh, one of the tulips looks like... Oh, that's so creepy. The details of the face are gone now.
Yeah.
最近モテ始めたとか言ってたな。誰にでもあるもんだが、あまり人に言わない。数年経って後悔するからな。あのブロッコリーを破壊する。一応考えてはある。で運ぶのが僕で。そう。安全を確保しつつ。
Yeah.
誰か手伝ってくれる人が欲しいですね。こうだしな。弟は？都会だからまだ学校かも。リツ。よ。
Everybody's getting involved. Uh-oh.
Ritsu doesn't like you very much. Ritsu always has really great hunches.
Yeah, he does. He has good intuition.
何の話だ。大丈夫か、マキ。サイコヘルメット様に祈るんです。賛成。賛成。サイコヘルメット教って知ってる？え、もう興味あるの？まさか信者がたくさんいるみたいで。拡大の勢い、彼らのご神体っていうの、それがあの真珠なんだ。ってことは。
Yeah, you'll be making a lot of people really upset. That was before.
God, this show makes me feel so uneasy sometimes, and then... Oh no.
ありがとう。レーゲンさんもどうぞ。どう？後でいただくわ。
Okay, so Reagan's not eating his, and Mom's not eating his.
その前に一箇所寄っていいですか？
Okay, yeah, Ritsu ate the candy, and now he's gonna screw them over.
リツ？紹介したい人たちがいるんだ。この人たちは？ヘルメット教の人たちだよ。は？兄さんよ。
Those faces are so reminiscent. Ritsu, you should be able to break free of this like Teru did.
I think Ritsu will break free, just not yet. He's not at Teru's level.
Con them. Do something, Reagan. I mean, running is cool too.
Hit dodge.
He did always tell Mob that sometimes you need to run away.
Reagan's so smart. He's like a detective. He's like Batman.
Oh my gosh, it's like spies all over the town.
Does Dimple want to die? He knows that it's inevitable that Mob's gonna react, right?
This is so creepy. It's like zombies. Okay, but who hasn't? Who can we trust? Tsubomi. Where is Tsubomi? Call up Sho.
What? Aw.
新教祖が登場してからは違う。崇めさせているんだとしたら、やり方が気に食わない。
奴を偽物というのはどの立場からなんだ？のサイコヘルメットだとでも言いたいのか？虚像でしかなかったわけだろう。こんなコミュニティにもリーダーは必要だろう。自然だし。
Is he trying to play a game with Mob right now?
ことだ。モブにはできないことをあの方は祭りは
He's
楽し
pushing
んだ
his
もんだ。
buttons.
一旦帰るぞ、モブ。
How did it get to him?
洗脳されてませんか？
ああ、お前は洗脳されてるって言われるのは町そのものより住民の心、もはや全住民がサイコヘルメットその気持ちを汲むべきだろう。真珠やサイコヘルメット教と共生していくんだから、俺は行かねえぞ。おい、
僕の勘違いならそれでいい。あの人もあの人もあの人も僕だけが。
会いに行くの？
うん、話がしたいんだ。
モブくんが歩きます。
声が聞こえる。影山修行はすごい。ヘルメット様が2人に。ますます盛り上がるぞ。
Okay, that was Mob Psycho Season 3, Episode 4. Dude, I don't want Mob to kill Dimple. I don't want him to have to do it. I don't know what the true motive here is, because it's like, I don't know, I got emotional at the end of that like when the music hit in, but I don't know what the true motive here is, because Dimple isn't stupid. Like, and with how things are playing out too, Dimple must know that it's inevitable that he is going to face Mob. And it's very hard.
He's wanting that at this point, if they're all clearing the way for Mob to get close to the tree.
And I'm saying that it's very hard to believe that Dimple would think that he could defeat Mob.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't understand what Dimple's trying to do. Is Dimple trying to get killed? Is Dimple trying to do this for Mob in some roundabout way?
Does Dimple think what's best for Mob is for Mob to really want to use his powers and maybe even be wanting to take over the world with Dimple? Is he trying to push Mob to a place where Mob can't come back from it?
I don't know, because like that, I don't know how to take the entire last scene with everyone cheering there, because everybody cheering is brainwashed, presumably.
But then there was Misato and Tsubomi, who both had interesting looks on their faces.
Yeah, but we at least know Misato at one point was brainwashed for sure. And if that's the case, like, it goes along... Yeah.
Her reaction was really different than
well,
the
wasn't
other
she in the
character.
Pointing montage?
She was. Okay, that's a good clue too, but she wasn't like, "Oh, I wonder why I didn't meet up with you. I guess I forgot about it."
Yeah.
She wasn't like brainwashed in that way where she couldn't identify why she didn't meet with him.
Yeah, I know.
And she had a sweat droplet. So it was like I almost took like maybe she was lying.
Maybe. I think that's still a possibility. She could
with that
be.
look she gave, and when she was expecting him to be there. At the very end.
Regardless, though, like, everybody there, it was happy and cheering, and they're brainwashed, right? They were saying, like, yay, there's a second leader now. They're brainwashed by Dimple. Dimple is having them cheer, right? Or is he making them just be happy?
I think
like,
what one of them said, like, I can hear the the Psycho Helmet leader's voice right now. And I'm guessing he told them to let Mob come through.
Yeah, like, is this some roundabout way for Dimple to get Mob to be appreciated or at least known for his powers in the community and then do what he will?
I feel like he's trying to get Mob into a situation. It feels like one of those situations where someone thinks they know what's best for you or wants you to be something, and now Dimple is truly actually trying to force Mob into whatever Dimple thinks is best for Mob or wants for Mob and himself.
Obviously, like, the face value, what they're telling us is that Dimple at the end of the day is a spirit, and
an evil spirit.
and he wanted to be a god and take over the world. That's who he's always been. And that is what he's doing now. But there's just, like, we've been through so much with Dimple, and I know Dimple is pretty intelligent as a character, and, like, it makes me emotional to think about, because I don't think that this fictional little ghost green ball man is stupid, and I think he has, like, a motive here. I don't want to see him die either. Like, I don't want to see Mob have to kill Dimple, because, like, Mob has made so many friends and so many connections within the past 3 seasons, and every single one of them is now at risk and gone in form of Dimple's brainwashing. But Dimple's also one of those friends that he made, one of the very first ones at the start of the series. So having to kill that thing to get the rest of them back is not a fun thing to think about.
You can't say that there isn't some care that Dimple feels for
Yeah.
Mob either. You can't say that. Like, I could hear some maybe smaller argument being like, oh, well, he just wanted to wait around, or maybe he thought that Mob was strong enough to completely eliminate him. And I'm like, Dimple was constantly aware of things that would make Mob happy.
Yeah.
But Dimple also had, like anyone, his own ideas of ways that he wished Mob would live his life or things he would hope that Mob would do. And it feels at this point like a parent trying to enforce an idea onto their kid a little bit to me. Like, Dimple's trying to put Mob into this place that Dimple wants him to be, but there's always been care there, and I can't just say that, like, Dimple was only around because he was scared of Mob wanted to take over Mob the whole time.
If you were writing this story right now and you were trying to like close it out in a way, what would you do with Dimple? Would you kill him? Like, would you, like, what do you think that? Because it is kind of an awkward character to deal with, but, like, I can't help but think about when Teru first, quote unquote, killed Dimple, and then we got the scene of, like, Mob searched for over 2 hours for Dimple. I'm like, Dimple's, like, a very interesting character and complex character emotionally.
The energy of this show and the tone that it takes and the severity that it takes would lead me to believe that if Dimple is struck down, that he will not be completely gone.
Yeah.
And it's similar to, it's like a repetition of, like, once again he is almost completely eliminated and maybe he's gone for a little while and then he pops back up as a little wisp.
Yeah.
I think if they did go complete defeat, complete annihilation with Dimple's character, that who knows, like, that could be the whole thing of, like, look, we're not killing anyone. Look, we're not truly hurting anyone. But boom. And wouldn't it be the perfect character to completely get rid of when they're not a human, they're an evil spirit?
I don't think I would make it as somewhat, like, I'm trying to think how I'd, like, genuinely take a stab at writing it, because I don't think I would do it with killing Dimple, and that's probably just, like, my personal feelings in the matter, like, taking over. But, like, when I'm trying to think it out narratively, one good option that I thought could have been like closure, when at the end of the last episode, when the potential of Dimple being a villain here came up, I thought that maybe it could get to a place where Dimple's like, all right, well, just kill me then if they ever came to a fight, and Mob said something cute like, no, I'm not supposed to use my psychic powers on other people, and he acknowledged Dimple as somewhat of another person rather than just a spirit. But I don't know if that would work, because at the end of the day, he is a spirit. What is a happy life for a spirit in the world that we know as Mob Psycho? Was last season, and the idea of that family who is just staying at that shack, is that the best case scenario for something like Dimple? So like a sanctuary to live out days in a peaceful way, whatever that may be. Dimple doesn't have a family.
Could he ever even have peace when he's technically an evil spirit? Like, those spirits were just people that wanted to stay together in the afterlife. But Dimple was coined as this evil spirit that wants world domination, and we don't have a humanistic backstory.
Well, maybe
for
that's
him
it.
That feels, maybe we learn.
Maybe
If Dimple was once a person, maybe we learn who Dimple was and what he was like.
Maybe his closure is going from being an evil spirit to a docile spirit, like we saw last season. Because in my mind, like, you're at peace at that point. You're not out of control. Like, I'm just trying to think of a way that
Well, he could leave the story then if he.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm really trying to think of a way where you leave him off, because everybody else has their own route right now and direction in a very
their own future career path as this season started.
I think Dimple, it's very meta, I think, in a sense, or not meta at all, but it's addressing the issue that's there and realizing that it's an issue, that Dimple's an outlier. He's a character unlike the rest in this entire series, and he needs to be given time as a character to, you know, have growth, have an arc, complete it, you know. All in all, good episode. I did want to talk about a few things throughout the episode. We had, like, the continuation before it got to the conclusion of the episode of just the investigation of the roots affecting the structural integrity of houses and homes. Reagan said that he was able to tell that it wasn't faulty construction. That means Reagan has the ability to tell if a building's foundation is constructed correctly or not, and if it's up to code. And that is something that I think needs to be appreciated.
I mean, he's a jack of all trades.
Yeah, he is.
Like, I know Serizawa is honestly, that is one kind of hitch with this one issue with this current situation, is Serizawa is nowhere.
Yeah.
And Serizawa can fight next to Mob.
He could come back.
And he's at school and everyone else is brainwashed, and I'm like, okay, but if Teru was able to constantly break out of the brainwashing,
I think
Serizawa's stronger than Teru.
We don't know that.
Well, I think Serizawa was probably stronger than Teru.
I don't. We should after this, like, for fun, we should try to, like, pin characters up against each other and make fake arguments for them.
Yeah. Okay, well, right now I think that he would at least have some ability to
I agree.
break out of the brainwashing.
Can we agree Teru's stronger than Ritsu?
Oh, yeah, Teru's definitely stronger than Ritsu. Ritsu is definitely stronger than the kids that are studying with him under Teru, but he is not at Teru level. And then there's Teru, and then I don't know. For some reason, I put Serizawa on a level closer to Mob, and I think it might be just because they parallel him as as if he's a future Mob, or if Mob hadn't made friends, this would be his future.
Dude, you want to know who I want? We're not going to see him because there's no reason to bring him back, but just for my sake, I would love to see Shimazaki again.
I mean, honestly, if the one that Mingeshi, the one with the plants.
Yeah. Correct.
I can't remember exactly what his name was.
It was something along the lines.
Started with an M.
Yeah.
He was on the same level somewhat as Shimazaki. As of power.
Not in my head. I think that was before Shimazaki's awakening. You know what I mean?
Well, they were called the same thing. They were on the same tier in the organization.
Yeah.
But
what even happened to him?
You could see the aura kind of come out of the roots.
And then he just
toward him.
fell.
And then he just fell. It's like it zapped the life force from him.
It's terrifying how strong Dimple's become, but I still don't think he thinks that he could defeat Mob.
Then why is he that's the biggest question of all, is why is he letting Mob enter his domain?
I think that is the biggest question. I think that is something we don't know the answer to yet. Why is Teru the coolest character in any anime that's ever been made? Not only is he just like cool outfits, but it follows him throughout the show. Like when we started focusing on Teru this episode, he got his candy and it was like normal Mob Psycho. Then the screen cut to him opening up the fridge and it was like the most
This whole scene was really awesome.
It was so cool. And it was like the shadow, the color of his eyes. It kind of reminds me of like old school Digimon, the way it's drawn in a really weird way. But it's so cool.
And then you just freaking see behind him is Broccoli Mob.
That was a terrifying realization.
So creepy. It's like, when did this turn into like a ghost horror paranormal show?
And since we watch with lights on us and there's a bit of a glare, plus it's not the best TV in the world, we have a little bit of a darker screen than if I'd like view it on my like desktop or something. And it took me a second to like really understand that it was Broccoli Mob here, and I was terrified.
I think the darker screen definitely lent with the kind of oh my gosh.
Agreed.
He's right there.
I love that Teru was like, okay, I'm pissed, and then went off. We got to see a little bit of the Tai sword. We haven't seen that since episode 5.
I'm honestly a big fan of using kind of everyday objects as really awesome weapons, like Serizawa and his business cards as his shield and his weapon, Tai swords. I'm sorry, but like a toy sword that you put energy into, psychic energy into, is not as cool as a Tai sword in my opinion.
I agree.
Or a business card sword.
The toy sword's kind of cool, I think. But the Tai sword's better. I like the animation detail when like he dropped it and it was still a sword, but then it just kind of like
turned back into a Tai. And he at first thought that this Broccoli Mob was Kageyama. Yeah. You know, he was kind of like, wait, huh? And then he realized. And you had it right this whole time. I was still like, comically, they always give the dimples.
Yeah.
Comically, if Dimple is possessing something, then they always give the dimples.
Well, isn't that...
Technically, he's possessing the broccoli, but the broccoli doesn't have dimples. And then Broccoli Mob doesn't have the dimples. And I'm like, oh, where are the dimples? The signature dimples.
It could be just, like, telling us that it's not actually who Dimple really is right now. Like, it's, like, a moment of Dimple, like, trying to figure out who he is. And at the end of the day, once he realizes he doesn't want to be, hopefully, the god of everybody and make Mob's life miserable, he gets his dimples back.
Well, yeah, so right now he's not even going by Dimple. He's going by the founder. He's going by God. He's going by the founder of the Psycho Helmet religion. Well, and then at the end, it seemed like he let his believers believe that Mob was the original.
Yeah.
And that was interesting. That like, oh, okay, what is Dimple's thing here where he's letting the believers into the secret that Mob is the original.
Yeah.
So I feel like he wants him and Mob to be together on the top.
Yeah.
But I am also nervous for their next interaction because the last time they talked was a fight, but it was very like, it showed kind of both spirit and human, but it also showed like kind of adult and kid, like middle school kid, because Mob was in his little bit cocky, rebellious kind of chin phase in the episode where him and Dimple had the talk, and so it was a little bit like kind of this bratty energy back and forth. But Dimple was like, oh, this kid, you know.
I think you touched on something there though. The thought of Dimple like being at the top with Mob, that could be it. Like, that could be the way that Dimple goes about it. Like, see, we can have everything and everything's okay, Kageyama, me and you. And then it like turns into the fight, but it's just like how that ends.
I mean, wouldn't that be Dimple's? I think that would, if we were to like get into this evil spirit's brain, and if that do they even have a brain in there? What would Dimple's ideal be? I think Dimple's priorities, I think he's added to his list of priorities unintentionally. Like, it was definitely like being the leader, you know, being a god to people.
Yeah.
And since we've known Dimple, he loves hanging out with Reagan. He loves caring about Mob. I think he would want the best of both worlds. Like, he wants his friends that he's made.
Yeah.
And he wants the power. He wants
Yeah.
both of them.
I don't know. I think I'm just so concerned about what's to come. Like,
When did Reagan get brainwashed?
that's what I was just trying to figure out. It's a really good question because it obviously wasn't the candy, right? How long has he been brainwashed?
I don't know. They made it really hard for me to understand at the end until Mob actually was walking away that Reagan was brainwashed, because I'm like, oh, okay, Reagan has played word games before in order to evoke a response or a reaction from Mob or push Mob to make a decision for himself, but Mob doesn't need that sort of talk anymore. That was season 1 Mob, you know.
Well, Reagan's not the type of person who would give that type of talk anymore either.
Yeah, they've both grown. So when did it happen? I almost want to go back and see everything that Reagan did. This was the moment that he finally was like, we're not going to go toward the tree. But I doubt they showed us any moments before. Wait, what was he eating?
Apple.
Okay.
It could be somehow the apple, nutrients from it. And then next time we saw him, I don't think he was eating anything. We had Teru's scene. Then after Teru's scene, we had the plant scene. Back to Teru's
Reagan
fight.
was especially upset when Ritsu took them inside the civic center.
Yeah. But
I don't think he wasn't brainwashed then, because his reaction was he had, facial reactions, sweat droplets, that whole time being like, oh, what do we do here? We're being surrounded.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
it had to be an after point.
Unsure. But the whole scene was very tense. This show does such a good job at making me feel extremely tense. You know?
I mean, that's one of our favorite parts of the show is it's so weird to say that I love feeling unsettled or tense from a show, but this is a different energy than where I would normally attach those words. It's something that is not pleasurable to feel those feelings when watching this show. It's not something that makes me so uncomfortable that I would never want to watch this show, but the uncomfortability of it almost is the beauty of it.
This show doesn't make the audience feel things without significant reason.
It feels kind of deep and subtle. It feels nuanced and it's deep.
Well, yeah, and there's always motive to it. There's always some reason that feeling is happening, and it isn't just making you feel something just to feel it, which is very face value and shallow.
Shock value.
Yeah.
Get you to be constantly reacting with your face,
which goes hand in hand with it goes so beautifully contrasting to the comedy in the show, which is very shock value and hand in hand. So when they decide to take a serious tone to it, they have the option to always make it funny with the shock value, but that's the way that the tone needs to go. When they get serious, the eerie music, the close-ups, I mean,
this whole episode was just close-up on people's faces.
Mm-hmm.
Was that is it because of the brainwashing? Do you think that it was close up on people's faces in weird angles of them because of the idea of brainwashing and a person not being who they really are and something being wrong with them?
I think that could be it. But it was a lot of Mob too, close up wise, and I think it's just expressions on people in general. I do wonder if Tsubomi's brainwashed. It's hard for me to imagine you aren't if everybody else is eating this candy and stuff.
But I could also see Tsubomi being the type of character that wouldn't partake. I'll be like, oh no, knowing something. I just feel like she's a little bit smarter. I don't know, maybe has good intuition. I don't know what it is. But I also feel like she is watching Mob. We already know that she has been watching Mob in other situations, whether she happened upon the place that he was and saw him do something. But I think she is very aware of
I agree.
him.
I think that Tsubomi is... I kind of compare Tsubomi to Hayasaka from Kaguya-sama Love is War with, like, how I think Tsubomi could actually be in control of the world. Like, I think Tsubomi could be the strongest character in the show, but also could be nothing but who we've seen her as, and it's okay. Like...
I feel like she almost, like, I don't know, is it brainwashing smile? Is it a proud of Mob kind of taking control to save everyone in the city from being brainwashed, even though he's all by himself and he's choosing to use his powers to protect everyone once again?
Maybe Dimple is doing this whole thing to get inside of Tsubomi's head to see her feelings for Mob.
That
and
maybe this is
friend.
just a giant matchmaker plan.
Yeah,
with Dimples.
maybe.
I think, I think we figured it out.
Broccoli Mob, though, it's a great villain to have. It's always great to find a reason to visually fight yourself in a story. Like, I think that's always fun. But does it beg the inevitable production of a really cursed, terrifying version of your shirt, but us were like Broccoli Ben and Broccoli Anna?
I'm gonna have a nightmare of that tonight.
It's terrifying, isn't it? It's an awful thought. That. It really is.
Okay, so Mob does have some possible advantage going into this, other than any emotional connection he has with Dimple. He also has already learned and is very good at controlling plants.
What the fuck is up with
What
Mob
is, like,
shirt?
everyone's issue with Mob's shirt? Like, everyone was giving him looks. Teru picked it out for him.
So do you think Dimple actually picked it out for him? If Dimple had already been... if Teru had already been brainwashed last episode and didn't realize it?
So, there was something interesting because I feel like we saw Teru go from being brainwashed to not brainwashed to... Do you know what I just realized? When Teru took Kageyama to pick out that shirt, did we see a scene that actually happened before, but we saw it now? Like when Teru was in, like, eating the candies and stuff, looking in the fridge, and Broccoli Mob appeared behind him, then he went and fought Broccoli Mob? What if that was actually before the shopping spree of last episode? In timeline. And so that would be Teru being brainwashed.
Could explain the interesting taste. But it also, like, how would Dimple know about the Canada store? I don't know. The shirt is definitely an interesting thing that keeps being brought up, and I wonder how deep it is, if at all.
There's something about it. Like, Reagan was so embarrassed. But it's like Reagan didn't even want to be seen next to a person wearing this shirt.
Yeah. It could just be like a stupid face value joke, and I'd love it. But I wonder if there's anything to it.
He was like, your school uniform has more defense points.
What does it have on it? Monkeys?
The cool stuff in games never has the most, like, defense points or anything. It's always the, like, ugly stuff that you don't actually want to wear.
I mean, it could be like just the transformation. Instead of white tea poison, Mob is now like...
Yellow tea monkey boy.
Yeah, yellow tea monkey boy. I don't know, man. Who knows?
There's something... Maybe it's just an inside joke or something.
Yeah. That's
just some little comedic
bit.
Never going to be explained bit.
I love inside jokes. I'd love to be a part of one someday. All right, you good?
Yes.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we hope to see you next time.